Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey and today I'm going to show you how I crochet this very cute crop top. You can buy the finished product that I make or the written pattern that I make on my Etsy, and that's going to be linked down below.
Alright, so to begin today I'm using a Lilly Sugar and Cream yarn. This is the color Bright Navy. It's really like a dark navy blue, and I know it kind of looks black on camera, but it is navy blue. And I'm also using a 5mm hook, and then I've got my scissors and my tapestry needle as well. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a bra cup, and to do that I'm going to be making a slip stitch. I'm going to put that slip stitch on my hook, tighten it down, and then for this top I'm going to be making a size small, so I'm going to chain 13. It doesn't really matter how long you make your initial chain, just make sure that it is an odd number. Basically this is going to be the bottom of the cup to about the middle of the cup. So I would just take your measurements and make the chain based on that, but do make sure that it is a odd number. So once I have my chain of 13, I'm just going to turn it like so, and then we're going to start single crocheting up the side of our chain. So I'm going to skip that first one there. I'm going to go into the next one and place my single crochet. And I'm going to do single crochets all the way up this chain until I get to the very last stitch. So I have one chain left, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 single crochets all into that chain. So that's 1, I'm going to put another one in the same stitch, that's 2, another one in the same stitch again, and that will be 3. So once you have your 3 in the top, it would be very helpful if you would mark that center stitch that we did for your next round. So after we do that, I'm just going to continue crocheting down the other side of our chain. So we crocheted up this side, we did 3 in the top, and now we're going down the other side. Okay. After you do this, this is what you should have. So it goes up this side, we did 3 in the center, and then we did down this side, and then we met at the bottom. So it should be like a U shape. So at this point, I'm just going to turn it over like that, and then we're going to place the single crochets up this side until we get to the stitch that we marked on the last row. Okay, I've done crochets up this side, and now I'm at my 3 single crochets that we did in the tip before. So in the first one, I'm just going to do 1 regular single crochet. In this middle one, where you should have a stitch marker, I'm going to do 3 single crochets all in that same spot. So that's 1. I'm going to do another one in the same stitch. That's 2. We're going to do another one in the same stitch, and that is 3. And at this point, I would move your stitch marker up to that second stitch that we did that's in the middle right there. And then after you do that, you're just going to keep doing the single crochets down the other side. That is pretty much the basic pattern. You're going to be single crocheting up the side, doing 3 stitches in the middle stitch here, moving up your stitch marker, and then crocheting down the other side. I'm going to repeat this for a total of 10 rows for a size small. You can repeat this however many times you need to fit yourself, but just make sure you leave a little bit room outside because we're going to do a little detailing stitch. So I'm going to do this for 10 more rows, and then I will come back and show you what to do next. Right, so here is my 10 rows, the finished bra cup. If you had any trouble with this, I do have a full-length video that I can link up above that is more detailed, but we're going to move on. So I still have the yarn attached, and from here we're going to be doing a little row of double crochets and chain 1s around the outside of our cup. So I'm going to chain 3. That's going to count as 1 double crochet and a chain 1. So if you look here, I don't know if you can see, but this stitch at the very beginning, that one doesn't count because that's where our double crochet is coming out of. So there's that one, and then we're going to skip one, and then we're going to put a double crochet in what looks like the third stitch from the bottom, but you're actually only skipping one in between. So after that, we're going to chain one, skip one, place a double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet. We're just going to do that all the way up. And since we had an odd number of chains, all of our bra cups should be the same when it comes to the pattern at the tip of our bra cup. So if you can see, here I am at the tip of my bra cup, and if I skip one right here, I'm going to be going into that first single crochet of the 3 single crochets that we have in the tip here. So for the 3 in the tip, I am just going to put a double crochet in all 3 of those, not skipping anything in between. So I have one in the first one. I'm going to chain one, then I'm going to do a double crochet right in that top stitch where you would have a stitch marker. Not skipping anything in between, so it should look like that. Now I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to put a double crochet into that third single crochet right on the other side of that one, not skipping one either. So it should look like that. So this one right here in the middle, that's going to be the top. And then at this point, I'm just going to do the chain one, skip one all the way back down to the end, and you should have the exact right amount of stitches unless you skipped one somewhere. So here I am at the bottom. I'm going to do my chain one, and then my last double crochet is going to be in my last stitch. And once you're done with that, you're going to have this double crochet, chain one all the way around your cup, and you have 3 in the tip there. And at this point, I have already made my other bra cup, so we're just going to be moving on. I'm not going to cut off my yarn or anything like that. We're just going to start single crocheting across our bottom here. There's one. I put one in the very end there, and I'm going to put one on this double crochet. Single crocheting across the bottom of your cups, you should have little holes where you go into that are pretty easily defined. Just make it even all the way across. All right, there are my single crochets all the way across the bottom of my cup. From here, I'm going to be connecting my 2 cups like so, and I want to make sure that both of these sides are the same. So I have my fronts facing up right now. This is the front, and I want to make sure this is the front as well so that one of our cups is not backwards. So in my last stitch here, I'm going to put it on my hook as if I were just going to do a regular single crochet. I'm also going to take my first stitch on my other cup and put that on my hook as well so that I have both of them. And then I'm going to pull my yarn through both and do a single crochet as normal, and that will join them together. So then I'm just going to continue with my single crochets down the other cup so that it's all the way across the bottom. Alright, after you've done that, you should have them all connected and single crocheted all the way across the bottom. Next thing we're going to do is flip it over, and then we're going to do a row of this, the double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet. So I'm going to do a chain 3 in the corner, I'm going to skip one, and then I'm going to place a double crochet. That's what you should have. I'm going to do the chain one, skip one, double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet. And we're going to just do that all the way across the bottom to the other side. So I'm coming up on the end here, and I don't have a even number of stitches across the bottom of my bra cups. It just happened to turn out like that. So I have one at the end, and I'm just going to be placing 2 double crochets right next to each other at the end, and no chain one in between, keeping the amount of stitches the same, but you can't really tell. So at this point, I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to do 7 rows of single crochets just across the bottom like you normally would. And then after that, I'll show you what's next. All right, so I did these 7 rows of single crochet on the bottom. And then what we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna do another row of this double crochet, chain 1 double crochet. So I'm going to chain 3 like normal, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. We're gonna go all the way across the bottom just like we did up here. Okay, so after we've done that all the way across the bottom, I'm just going to turn my work over, and then we're gonna do 1 more row of single crochets across the bottom just to, you know, seal it off. And then after that, we'll be pretty much done. We just need to add the straps. All right, so I did my whole row of the single crochets across the bottom. Now I'm going to cut off my yarn about, probably 2 inches at least, 2 or 3 inches. And I'm going to pull my yarn out, tighten that down, and then this is where we're going to get our tapestry needle out and weave in those ends. So I'll just take my tapestry needle and I run it underneath my single crochets that I did across the bottom, and just go as far as the tail is, so about 2 or 3 inches. Once you have that, stretch it, and then I just have this little piece left over, so I'm going to cut that off, and then the end is all weaved in. So at this point we have our whole bottom of our top, and then we have our bra cups up here, and the next thing we're going to do is add the straps. So we're going to come onto the front of our top, grab our yarn, and what I'm going to do is, if you see these 3 double crochets that we did before, this one right here, that one is the middle. We're going to go into this middle one here. We're going to pull our yarn through, and then we're going to tie a knot. The knot is right on that top stitch. From here, I'm going to take my tapestry needle again, gonna put that end through, and I'm just going to weave it down into my top. So the first thing I do is go down my double crochet that we just tied it onto. And then at this point I would just go down this row of single crochets from our top. Just make sure it is weaved down pretty far. And at this point I would stretch it out, and then I'll just cut off the little piece at the end. So now our yarn is fully connected and hidden, and then I'm just going to go back through the top of that stitch, right where we tied it on, and then pull through, and then I would start a chain, and then that is going to be our strap. So for the straps, I usually do like 100, 150 chains, just really however many you need for it to fit you. You can make it longer, shorter, really however much you want. All right, so I finished both of my straps, and I'm just gonna show you how I lace them up really quick. So we're gonna take this strap over here, we're gonna bring it across and down over to our corner piece right there, and we're just gonna pull it through like that. Now from here, we're gonna go across to this bottom corner over here and put that through. And then at this point is where you would tie it. You're also gonna lace up your other side. So this corner is gonna go over here. And this corner would go over here. And then you have both of your straps at the bottom, and that's where you would tie it. So that is it.